Hi everyone, this is the E-mini S&P 500 futures. I'm using a 2000 tick chart and a 21 EMA. I've got my overnight high up here and my overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. And so starting off, notice that we have this sharp push down. I started trading at 8 Central Time right here, by the way. We have this sharp push down, we get a break, and we start pushing down to a new low, right to where I started trading at. And then we start making this second leg up right here, making this clear two-legged move. And this downtrend, even though it is, you can see there's a leg there and then a break and then another leg and then a break and then another leg. You can still tell that it's one leg on a bigger picture and that we have a two-legged break for it here. Now, when you get a break of a downtrend, you can expect price to attempt a new low. Now, we also did just form the overnight low, which is a major reversal area, and so it's not surprising that we had a weak reaction to this level right here. Now, as soon as it reaches it, it's chopping up there, and then right when that measured move is met, it has a clear reaction, but it can't even get below the EMA. You barely close below before shooting back above, and you barely close below again, and then you close well above again. And so it's really just holding on the EMA right after reaching this measured move. So what that's telling you is that it's just not making a good reversal pattern. You would want to see a sharp rush below in order to get a short to make a new low for this, but it can't even get below. And so anyway, we push on up here. And another thing that can happen, by the way, like say it doesn't push into a nice bearish bar with a good entry to make a new low, it could just form a smaller setup. So say when here it doesn't do that, it bounces up there and it starts pushing below here, it could make a failed second entry starting from here. It could push down into a failed second entry. Obviously you have some trend line here, so you can't just enter right into that. But if it pushes lower here and makes a little failed second entry, that would be great because you're already expecting a new low for this way bigger downtrend, and it's still at this measured move level. Even though if it breaks above it, if it quickly pushes back below here with a smaller failed second entry, that could offer a great short to make a new low at this downtrend. But it just holds on this trend line right here. We push on up. First entry long off the EMA. It's just a first entry, so you don't want to take it. Push up here. Kind of just gets choppy. We got first entry long and then second entry long, closing below the EMA, pushes down a bit, another push up. Unfortunately, nothing in this area. It's really just going sideways here before finally pushing down. Now, at this point right here, this is looking like it's trying to make a second leg down because we already have that first leg down. It's not always going to give a perfect, it's not always going to make the new low from this, the initial two-legged break. Sometimes it's going to happen later because we have all this room for a correction. And so when we push lower here, it looks like it's attempting that second leg down. But when we get this sharp push up, very sharp move up, getting above the EMA right here, you can draw off this trend line right here. And now it holds on this trend line again. Notice with this red bar, that's when it holds, and it's a little bit more clear on these next couple green bars. And notice that we have this third bounce right here. You do have these two legs down, so first entry long, second entry long, holding off this trend line. Now, once again, price was attempting to make a new low for this downtrend, while also trying to push higher off of the overnight low, so that's basically two competing things there. And so here, I quickly want to mention I did not enter all the way up there. Whoops, I accidentally grabbed this trend line. I liked this trade much lower down here, and so it was a little higher than that, but it was not at 144 like it was a second ago. And so anyway, I liked it within that measured move, just to that measured move. I forgot I extended it because I just wanted to see what it would look like, and then I forgot to put it back before the video. So just saying, this is right here. And so anyway, I liked it to that measured move right there. Third bounce off that trend line. 2 attempts to reverse with a sharp push up off that trend line, closing out of this green trend line right here. And of course, with a limit order because of this measured move here. Because what could happen is from here, it can form a failed second entry. Notice first entry long, second entry long, and then you can get that failure starting from here. It literally attempted it right there. Now, considering this trend line, in that sharp push above, I liked it to that measured move, but you just can't, you can't risk it. It could push on down here, and then, it might end up holding again, but it could end up pushing on down. And so that's why you keep the target within that measured move there. And so anyway, we push on up here. we make these couple legs up, and then we get these 2 pushes down. Now, at this point, sorry, this day is kind of scaling weird on the chart because of this move up. Like, notice how it's thin, and then it gets very thick all of a sudden. So I'm gonna, there we go. So anyway, we get these couple legs down right here. First entry long, second entry long, clear push above. This measured move was not quite met, and this trend line was not quite met. But then, let me just adjust this trend line because it kind of got, right, it's perfectly off that body right there. So notice how this push here, we have that 2-legged move down, we make this little higher low, or it's really a double bottom, but this is the time that it's actually off of the trend line. So it still didn't reach the measured move, but now you have a second attempt at that measured move. So as far as the measured move goes, you form it on that first leg, and then you have that first attempt to reach it, second attempt to reach it there. But it doesn't matter that it didn't reach it because you have that second attempt now, and it's off this trend line. You get a clear spike above the EMA. I wouldn't want to take it right into the EMA because you're also forming this right here. After it forms that swing, you don't want to enter into that trend line right there and the EMA. And so that's why I liked it above, after it closed above. And so pushes on up here, stop order, very, very close there before pushing on down. It doesn't go to where the stop would be, but it's you wouldn't want to see that happen. Like, say that bar was just a little bit bigger, could very easily have happened, but there's a reason we keep our stops where we keep them. It's protected by the price action. And so anyway, push on up here, get this push back down. And I do want to mention these 2 legs on a bigger picture clearly is 1 leg. It offered us a great long, but we have to quickly adapt. 2 legs down leads to reversals higher. And since it didn't last very long, it's immediately pushing back down. That's when it's clear to see that we're getting a bigger picture leg. You see, so first leg down, second leg down. Now, in this case here, we did have this push on up right here. I did not like it because I still wanted to see another push down, kind of like right here, how we had that smaller, or whoops, I didn't mean to, we had that smaller measured move, and then an extra push down at it, that second attempt at the measured move. I would want to see that right here because we did start to break that trend line right here and then reject the EMA. Even when we closed above right here, it had already kind of started, it wasn't starting off strong with the move. It didn't have good momentum. So when we closed above right here, I would just want to see another, I still didn't like it. I would just want to see another push down attempting to reach that measured move, and then we could have gotten a long. If we had pushed down and just gotten a nice entry right here, another little push, then yeah, we could have gotten a long, but it just doesn't form. So we push up here, find resistance right at that high, form a double top. It's basically a triple top. It's so close with this one right here, but technically from those bodies right there, it just makes that double top. Pushes lower here. There's not much room for a short. Like, say it had formed a failed second entry, there wouldn't be any room. If it gets below the EMA and forms that, it would just be chop. It looks like it tries to form that, with this lower high right here, but that's all it has room to even make before pushing lower, and you're already at the trend line there. So, no way to get in on anything there unless it actually breaks through that trend line and you get something bigger picture. If you make a double top and you have a trend line pushing up, you can push through there and get 2 attempts higher, making a good failed second entry, and that would be 2 attempts higher for this break of that uptrend. Now, obviously, you could get a bigger picture break after it breaks out further, but you could still get a trade based on those 2 pushes higher on the failed second entry. But anyway, that doesn't happen. It just holds again, starts getting very choppy right here. Notice that it has a downtrend break, and then first attempt lower, and then it pushes up here, and then second attempt lower before pushing up higher. So even though it's choppy right here, you can still tell what price is doing, and it's very good to learn how to read through the chop. Clearly you have a downtrend, a break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower, failure. So nothing to take there, nothing to go long off there either on that failure because it is right in this chop right here. But it pushes on up. Notice from here we get these 2 legs up. Now this measured move was pretty close to being met. Got these 2 legs up right here, obviously, legs, this leg right here is all of this price action right here. You can see there's a leg there, a break, another leg, but on a bigger picture, this is all one leg here. And so it can take some getting used to learning bigger picture, but you know, it's very much worth doing. So, whoops. Anyway, there we go. So it almost reaches it. It just spikes on down here. Now you can form a reversal pattern if you push below this, you know, trend line right here. Like I said, you can make a reversal pattern. You know, I would like to see in this area here a couple legs back retesting. That could offer a great long. You know, sorry, I don't know why I do this in the middle of the video. I wish I had that tool. There's this tool for NinjaTrader. I'm kind of getting off track here. What's it called? I forget, whatever, I'm sorry. Anyway, we push lower here. It would have been great to get a nice reversal pattern because, again, after breaking this uptrend right here, you'd have 2 attempts at a new high. Obviously, those are small picture attempts at a new high for the size of it, but that doesn't matter. You can still get a short off of it in the moment, and then as it pushes lower down, then you can look for a bigger picture attempts at a new high, such as, you know, we have a break right here, first attempt higher, pushes lower there, but you can still clearly tell it's making a couple attempts at a new high. Uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure. So, you know, the whole day, the price action structures are getting bigger, and it's very important to learn that stuff. So anyway, we don't form the reversal pattern, we just push on down, and then when we push on down here, we actually do form this reversal pattern all the way down here. Now, this is not a good area for it to happen. It should have happened up here, but it pushes out these lows right here of this range. We get this first attempt to fade, second attempt to fade. So considering that these are attempts to fade, you know, we broke out, you know, those are 2 attempts to fade, but it's also that just the 2-legged break. Now, since we just faded back in, this short is basically entering into the lows. Even though you did barely close out right there, you know, I mean, you just faded back in, and the entry is right at these lows where it's been chopping and clearly finding some support. So, you know, as tempting as it can look, and it does look tempting, you know, sharp push down with 2 legs breaking out and a sharp push down after that second leg up, you know, it does look tempting, but you got to consider it's clearly holding onto this trend line right here, this range low. So you just got to skip it. But anyway, it pushes on lower here. It looks like you've made it for 1-to-1. Unfortunately, it's just not worth taking. So anyway, we push on up here. This downtrend is played out with a break and a new low, so we start pushing on up here. We can get a reversal pattern. We can make a nice failed second entry, holding back on this low again, but we don't make that. We end up just pushing on up here, and you know, we react to this channel right here and then just push on lower. Unfortunately, no clear short. Again, on this lower high, you're right into those lows again where it's getting very choppy, which I kind of extended this range. At first I had this drawing right here. It was much more clear, but as more price action formed, I did extend it. And so we push lower here, get this leg down, break, second leg down. Now, what these legs are the 2 attempts at a new low for this downtrend. So remember how I said that this downtrend has a break and a new low and then attempts to reverse? Well, on a bigger picture, since it failed to reverse, you know, it started that reversal, but it ends up pushing lower. What that's doing is it's looking for a bigger picture leg down. And so now all of this, including the break and the new low, is part of that first leg down. And so now we have this right here. Let me just draw it up. We have this first leg down, break, first attempt at a new low, and then second attempt at a new low. So, you know, very typical trend attempting to play out while also breaking this wider uptrend. So the uptrend has a break and we're expecting price to attempt a new high. This downtrend has a break and 2 clear attempts at a new low, forming a clear triple test with a nice bullish reaction. So I really like that for a long right there. And we push on up here. Notice we start to find some resistance right at that high. We push lower, make a second leg up, and we have this 2-legged move up here. Very typical 2-legged move. Let me just copy that. Almost perfect measured move. Perfect with those bodies. I mean, even though it does have wicks going through, this is a perfect measured move before sharply pushing lower here. So, you know, just saying, these measured moves are very important to understand. At this point here, the news started, you know, going crazy, and I was done basically right after this. And well, I watched it for a little bit after, but you know, I kind of took a break because today it was kind of intense while trading. You know, it was exciting for sure. I was trading the, you know, this and the ES. It was a great day, but you know, it can be intense. You know, it really can be, especially because you know, when you're on the NQ and the ES at the same time, you're looking at two charts. Sorry about that noise in the background. There's some construction being done to my house, and yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly get through this video because you know that construction's not going to stop anytime soon. So anyway, we push on lower here. You know, great place for a failed second entry. You know, if it had formed, it just doesn't form one here. So we push on lower here, find resistance at those lows, push on back up. Unfortunately, there's really just no clear trades right here. Sorry, that is so loud. It's literally right underneath this room too, so I didn't really consider that for making videos. Anyway, I'm just going to wrap this up. We push on out here, sharp fade back in. You can see how it makes that little failed second entry reversal pattern before continuing lower there, but it's way too thin, small picture to take. Then we start finding resistance here, no setups on the way up. It just kind of makes these couple legs up, and then this, you know, higher low after those two legs up there. You can see to the tick that's a failed second entry, but it's really just two legs up and then an attempt to push lower. So that's really nothing to take there for a long. We push up, and then it starts getting very, very choppy right here. And also I do want to mention, after you get these breakouts, obviously you can extend this range. I stopped trading right before this all happened, so that's why I didn't have my range all extended. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hope it helped out in some way. And yep, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.